Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Friday in the Kitchen. I want to say hello to Helene. Look, I remembered to say hello to Helene, my co host. I've got Gloria here and Olga. I don't know if that's Derek, but hello, Derek. Diana, Pamela, Shirley,
Patricia.
Kathy, and two Zoom users. Patricia, are you out there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
Patricia.
Hi, P.
Welcome, everyone.
August, the beginning of September.
Yep.
But I'm so excited to be here today, Debbie, because usually you don't wax poetic about the choice of food that you're going to prepare. And you've been talking about these crackers for so long.
Whoa,
I just
I put myself
look
in
forward
a
to these
place,
crackers.
right? High expectations about these crackers that we're making today. Yes, I had the other ones, the Eve's crackers that I showed the last couple of weeks to have with the cheese. And I forgot to bring my cheese out, but I saved just enough for crackers today. And I forgot to bring out the cheese. So there, Kathy and everyone. But yeah, these are, I mean, I love my salty food, but I gave up all the stuff like the chips and the crackers and the things that you buy in the store, unless they're good ingredients. And even then, we all have our trigger foods. And yeah, that's one of mine is crackers and that salty stuff. But I'm okay if I don't have any at all. But as soon as I have one, the floodgates open and is calling. So I have tried, getting the really healthy crackers and like these Eve crackers, which have all whole food ingredients in them. They're pricey. I think you can get Mary's crackers, which are made from rice, so they're gluten free at Costco and other places. So they may be a little more less pricey than the Eve's. But Eve's is made actually in BC in Canada. I don't. They're not available in the U.S., but I'm sure in the U.S. you guys have something similar, or some kind of specialty artisan type brands. Really, that's what it is. And we pay a lot of money for artisan. So why don't we make the artisan ourself? And that's what we're going to do. And yes, if I have crackers in the house, they're calling me. Even though they're good, they've got all sorts of amazing fiber and everything. I gotta say, I have to be careful because it's a treat for me. Because otherwise, like I said, those crackers are calling me all day long, and I just got to stay away from them. Okay, so this is a super easy to make. You don't need any equipment, really, other than a bowl and a spoon to mix it and a pan to put it in to bake it. A little bit of parchment paper would help. So we're going to do two. We're going to do a sesame seed cracker, and we're going to also do a sunflower cracker. So I like the sesame ones, but they're both the same. It's very good. And the other thing is that there's so many flavors that you can do and variations to what you like, which is so super about it. So I'm going to start off. We're just going to put ingredients in a bowl. And the first ingredient I have is sesame seeds. So I have half a cup of white sesame seeds, which is easy to find, and I have a quarter cup of black sesame seeds. Now, if you don't have, I was at the store trying to find black sesame seeds, and I don't think most grocery stores carry it.
They have a mix.
I bought mine online, and I even forgot I had them, and so I was going to do all the white ones, and then at the last minute, I tripped over the black ones when I went to get the white ones. I think, oh yeah, I forgot I have them in the house. So that was a nice surprise. Like I said, the black ones will give you a little more umami flavor, but it's, you could do it both ways. Then we're going to add a cup of ground flaxseed. So I have this. Now I buy mine ground up because I'm not going to say I'm lazy, but I don't have a lot of time. And I'm looking for quick ways to be able to make good, delicious foods without having to spend a lot of time. And if you buy flaxseed, now you could, in this recipe, use whole flax seeds, what I'll tell you is our systems cannot digest whole flax seeds. They're just going to go right through you. You can do that, but I prefer to grind it, and I buy my flaxseed ground up at Costco. And once you open the bag, make sure you put it in the freezer because it goes rancid very quickly. And that's one of the reasons why it's good to buy whole and then grind it yourself. So if you want to grind it yourself, you just literally, you could grind it in your Vitamix, put it in, and then just whirl it around for probably like 10 or 15 seconds, and it would grind it up. Or you can use a coffee. I used to have a coffee grinder that was just for my flaxseed, but my daughter took it with her when she moved out, and I haven't replaced it. And that works well for small amounts, like, you know, when you want a teaspoon or two. So this is giving us great fiber. We are also going to add in a little bit, a couple of teaspoons of, this is, oh my gosh, hang on, because my brain just went on me. Psyllium husk. Okay, I figured it out on my own. So psyllium husk is, you can buy it whole, and you could buy this whole psyllium husk and put it in this recipe as well. Or I've got the ground stuff. I actually didn't find the whole in my store that I went to, but if you find that, you could use that. So I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons in. Now, psyllium husk is amazing. It absorbs really well. So it's going to absorb water at, I can't remember what, 5 or 10 times its own weight. It can absorb the water. So what psyllium does is it actually is like a little sponge going through your digestive tract, kind of cleaning things up. And I think things like Metamucil and some of those brands like that for giving you extra fiber actually use the psyllium husk. It's amazing for us. And then I have some chia seeds. So I'm going to put 1/4 cup of chia seeds in here as well. So you can see all the fiber with these things that we're getting. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of spices. So I have my favorite garlic powder. So in the recipe, I say a teaspoon. And I just cut my hand and and I always go more because I like more. So don't be afraid of the spices, because that's where we end up with bland food, is because we're afraid to put too much spice in. I have onion powder as well. You can tell my family uses a lot of these things because we buy the big Costco versions. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to add in some nutritional yeast, which will give it like this umami, maybe a little flavor of cheese if you want. So I have in the recipe 1/4 cup, but I am going to go all out and put 1/2 cup because I love it. So again, this is another one where you can tailor it to what you like. You don't need to use the full thing. Okay, let me put this here. And then I'm just going to stir all this up. I think I got everything that I need. Let me double check. All right, so then you can put a little bit of black pepper in here too if you wanted. And then kind of to get that salty thing, because crackers are salty. I'm going to use I'm using Bragg's Savory Liquid Seasoning. You could use the Bragg's soy sauce. You can use tamari sauce, whatever you have. And I've got a couple of cups of water. I'm going to add maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons, depending on, try it with 2. And then if you feel like you want it more salty, you can add a little bit more. Now this is gluten-free. When you're looking at tamari and soy sauces, you want to make sure you're getting gluten-free if that's something that you're concerned about. We always cook gluten-free in this program. Okay, so then I'm just going to add the water to my seed mixture. And it is going to look like it's just a very runny slop. That doesn't sound good. Runny deliciousness of fiber and all that good stuff. There's omega-3 fatty acids in here. This is just such a beautiful prebiotic feast for your microbiome. All I can say. Now, the psyllium husk and the flaxseed is going to really start to absorb this water very quickly. So we're going to set this aside to allow it to absorb for about 10 minutes. And then we can add a little extra if we want of the water, just to make it, if it's too thick. So you can always add more. So let's put that on the side. About 10 minutes-ish. And where's my other bowl? I've got another bowl here. Now let's do the sunflower crackers. So for the sunflower crackers, very similar, like almost the same. I'm going to use sunflower seeds instead. Now for this one, if you were watching me last week and you saw the water, how brown it was after soaking the seeds, you want at least some of that's coming from the dusk from hulling the seeds. And then the other thing is I had the seeds floating up into the top of the liquid, so I pulled the shells there were some shells in there. So it all depends on the brand you have on how clean it is. That one was quite a bit of stuff to skim off, and so you want to do that at the very least. Wash it and maybe soak it for 10 minutes. If you soak it for the 4 hours, I have not tried making the crackers after soaking for 4 hours. You probably want to use less of the liquid, but you're also going to need to probably bake it for longer because it's going to take longer. What I would recommend, if you really want the sunflower seeds to be soaked for 4 hours to remove all those enzyme inhibitor things that are on there, I would do that when you buy them. Then put them in your dehydrator or air dry them to bring them back to their normal constitution with the crunch, and then put them in the freezer or in the fridge until you're ready to use them, and use them that way rather than doing the soaking right before you make your crackers. So whatever works for you, like done is better than perfect on all this stuff. So I've got my sunflower seeds. I'm going to add a cup of the flax seed again, and we've talked about that. Going to add in some this is hemp hearts. I got about a quarter cup of hemp hearts. I can add in some more chia seeds again. For those that like chia seeds, this is a great one too. So another quarter of a cup of chia seeds. And I got my psyllium husk powder. I'm going to get a couple of teaspoons of that. Again, and it helps to bind the crackers together. Absorbs the liquid and binds it. Then for this one, I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. Even though I'm not a pepper fan, I'll add just a little bit. Oops, that's too much for me. And you can make like cracked pepper crackers, because I think that's one of the things that people like. If that's something you like, I'm going to add my garlic powder. Add a little bit of onion powder. You can smell it all. My kitchen smells like baked crackers today. For me, it smells delish. Adding a little more nutritional yeast. So it's almost like literally almost the same ingredients. Boop. And because I like to go all out with my nutritional yeast, I'm going to add more. Now I want to just say that for nutritional yeast, this one is pretty dark. I've seen in the store some that are very pale. Definitely, literally almost this color of the garlic. So quite pale. And they won't have as much body and flavor to them as the darker one is. So when I go to the store, I always look for the one that's the darker one. Then we're going to add in our liquid here. We've got, we'll stir this up. Now this recipe will make a couple of sheets of crackers if you do them really thin. So here's the thing. I'm just going to stir it up, but you can stir it as you put the water in. Let me put some of this brags in here. I like my salt. I'm using, this is the half teaspoon, so I'm going to do 3 of them. And again, this is something for, you know, what your flavor is and what you like to taste. I mean, you could even just put salt in instead of the brags if you like it that way. But this is, again, a little more umami. So we'll put this to the side and stir this up. Yum. This concoction, we're going to again let it sit, and we're going to come back to our other one. So I've got all the chia seeds on the side. So the chia seeds also absorb the water as well. Boom. So let's put this one over there and move it so we can make the actual crackers. So this, now you can see it's thickened up. It's almost solid. So I might put a little more water in there. Let me get just a little thing to put a little more water. But you don't want to put too much either, because you want to be able to spread it, but not too watery either. So I'm just going to make it a little thinner for spreading. All right. And then the next step, to take this and spread it on our baking tray. Oops. Parchment paper. Greatest invention. Greatest invention. So I'm going to take I'm going to put half of this, because this actually will make probably 2, I would put this on 2 cookie sheets. So I'm going to put about half on here. Looks like a dough, huh? Yeah, okay. So I'll put about half. Move this over here. And then, just to keep it less mucky, I'm going to put a little glove on. And I'm also going to, I've got a little bowl of water here. This is filtered water, because it was nice clean, but now I won't use it for anything but this. This is just so that it doesn't stick so much to my hand, and then I can move it around. Woo. You want it pretty thin, so if you can get it to just, I think, about less than 1/4 of an inch or 3 millimeters, that's ideal. And just move it around. Make it thin, and so thin is going to give you the crispier, wafer thin crackers, especially if you want them nice and crisp. And then I could put, if you see, I've got in here, it's not quite taking up the whole thing, but I'm going to do 2 sheets, so I'm just going to leave it at this. If you want it to be perfect, when I did my raw food chef certification, I remember we had a final project where we would do a full meal for an occasion. And I remember, and we'd have to videotape it because it was all online. And one of the ladies who was there made crackers for her friends that came over. And they were like literally like she had cut them. They were like so perfect. They were all the same size. They were all exactly the same thickness. And I'm like, wow, I was so impressed. And I'm still impressed with that, because that's not me. I would just, if you like to do that, that's great. I think that's amazing. For me, I'm good, like with the rough edges, and break it apart when it's cooked. You know, you just can break the pieces apart. But if you do want to have squares, what you can do is score it. So you just take a knife, like a butter knife, and just run it. Now, if you're very precise, you'll measure it, but you just run it through your, I guess this is I don't think dough isn't the right word. The paste here, the crackers, and that'll make And you could be very precise. You could get a ruler out if you want. And it's all up to you what you like and what time you want to spend on it. Just kind of do. And then so these ridges are going to kind of come together a little bit, but once it's cooked, it actually still remembers where they are, and you can break it at the ridges as well. So then we just put it in the oven. So what I would do is put it in the oven at about 300 for about 45 minutes and let them cook. And then when they're done, take them out of the oven. And what I would do then, let me see, I don't have it here. When you take them out of the oven, let them cool for a few minutes because it's still going to be soggy and it's not going to be crisp. It will crisp up as they cool. But once it's cool enough, what you can do is take a second piece of parchment paper, and you would have this on your, here, let me do it this way. This one is really cool. Okay, so pretend this just came out of the oven. You would put this another piece of parchment paper, and then flip it. And so this side here is going to be still a little bit wet, and it gives this side a chance to be on top and bake for maybe 20 minutes or so before you take it out of the oven. So you just kind of look and feel. And then once you take it out of the oven and you cool it, get this nice thing. And like here, this one, I did score it here so I can, oops, I broke it, but it will go on the thing, but I just broke it. Here's where the score is. So you could make squares. If you really want, you could use a pizza cutter to cut them if you want them really nice and even. It's really up to you. I prefer the artisan way of just crack it and that's it. So this one's still a little soggy. It was a little bit thick, but the other thing is if it's thick, what you could do is when it comes out, and this is the sunflower one, by the way. I have the other one here, which is the sesame one, which is my favorite. And if it's too thick when you bring it out and you want to thin it a little bit before you put it back in the oven, flip it. You can just kind of use a spatula or something to press it down to get it a little bit thinner. And voila, you have a cracker. I told my daughter I'm going to be eating crackers for a while. Yum. And that's it. It's so simple to make your own crackers.
Debbie.
This is going to be way more economical than buying a little package of them at the store. You can put your cheese on there. Yum. All right. Let me finish that. Let me see. All right, here's the recipe. Olga, I just put the recipe for the crackers. It's a link, so you have that. And by the way, I've also got the recipe for the cheese spread. Oh, let me get the cheese spread. Yum, yum, yum. I have a little bit of cheese spread left over from last week. So I can take one of my crackers, just a little piece, a little bit of my cheese spread. So the cheese spread is also in the recipe. A link to the cheese spread is there if you want to make the cheese spread. Oh. I could eat that all day long. And the nice thing is it is good for you, but we need to eat a variety. So eating crackers and cheese all day long is not recommended, even though I could do it all the time. All right. I don't see any more questions. Anybody else have any questions before we say goodbye for today?
Yeah, Debbie.
Yes.
You made the creamy sunflower cheese crackers, right?
Yeah.
And the second one, what were the second crackers that you made?
Oh, so the crackers were, I made two. One is the uh, sesame seed crackers.
Sesame
And
seed.
by the way, I meant to say it earlier, but sesame seeds have one of the highest amounts of calcium. So when you're dairy free, if you're looking to boost up your calcium, sesame seeds are an amazing source of calcium. And if you don't want to eat sesame seeds themselves, you could have them in the crackers, which is great. Or what the other thing you could do is have tahini, because tahini is just ground sesame seeds. And you can even make your own tahini by just basically grinding your sesame seeds or putting them in a food processor or a blender and getting them doing it that way. I have done it. It's a lot of work because it's very tedious because you keep having to scrape down the sides and keep going till it gets to be really smooth. So my recommendation is just to buy it at the store. But if you wanted to, you could make your own tahini just by grinding up sunflower seeds. So this is a great thing. So yes, so there's the sesame seed cracker and then the sunflower seed crackers.
Thank you,
Very
Debbie.
similar. You can do all sorts of adaptations, garden herbs. So you can add some herbs. You can add more garlic and herb. You could do a smoky paprika, Mexican, rosemary and black pepper. I see rosemary crackers at the store, but I would rather do them here. You could do a lemon dill as well. Really, whatever you fancy, you can make your own crackers now. And very easy to do.
And where would I get the recipe?
The recipe, Helene, are you going to send it to Gloria?
I have it. I'll forward it to her. Thanks,
Yeah.
Helene.
It's in the chat as well, but I know that Helene always takes care of you and sends it to you.
Yeah, no, she's good that way.
Yes.
She's a great co-host.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes, she
Helene,
is.
for all you do for making this a smooth day for me. Okay.
You're welcome.
She's a really good co-host.
Very good. Okay. I know Wanda just joined. For Wanda, we're already done. We're going to be posting the recipe, but I'll put the recipe in the chat again just in case you missed it. You can pick up the recipe, and there's also the recipe for the cheese spread as well if you want to make that. Next week we're going to start, this is a great stuff for your gut and gut health, which is talked about a lot, your microbiome. So this is like fiber. Like I would rather eat crackers than take, I don't know, psyllium husk metamucil drink or whatever. Let me tell you, and they have gummies as well that you can do for like getting your fiber. Really, whole food is the best way to get your fiber. And those gummies, you got to also take into consideration what else is in there to make it palatable. Because can you imagine just eating psyllium? This is like, it's like sludge, really. So you got to make it palatable. So have some crackers. You can make the cheese to go with it. It's just so good for you. And next week we're going to continue because we're on our way to making the cultured cheese and then a hard cheese. So next week I'm going to show you how to make Rejuvelac, which is a nice little fermented drink. If anybody's ever done kombucha or anything, it's not kombucha. It's kind of got a lemony taste to it. It's a refreshing, kind of a little different than having water. It's made with, anybody know? I think Gloria would know.
Quinoa.
Quinoa, yes. So we're going to make Rejuvelac next week. And then we're going to use the Rejuvelac to make another cheese spread. And then we're going to turn that cheese spread into a hard cheese over the next 3 weeks. So make sure you're following along as we go down this journey. So the Rejuvelac is really a great probiotic for your gut health. So easy to make. Literally, all it is water and quinoa, and it's just how you do it. And so we're going to do that next week, and that's going to set us up for making a cultured cheese or a fermented cheese, which is again going to help on our gut health as well. All right, everyone, thank you so much. If you are in Canada, other than Quebec, enjoy a beautiful long weekend. I hope it's sunny and clear skies wherever you are in this world. And sending so much love to everybody. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Debbie.
Thanks, Elaine.
Helene.
You're welcome.